Hello, and welcome to Scaryside. A ghost in the closet. The first occurrence. It's after midnight. My wife and I were in bed just getting ready to fall asleep, and out of nowhere, a terrifying loud crash comes from the walk-in closet located just outside of our bedroom. Normally, the sound wouldn't make any sense from a closet full of clothing, but we didn't keep clothes in it. We had cats. Their litter box was in there, so we called it the cat's room. But it was also mainly filled with boxes and plastic bins of decorations and other miscellaneous things. It was pretty much just used for storage. So the sound actually made perfect sense based on the contents in it. It sounded as though everything, and I mean everything, inside that room fell and crumbled, crashing down from the ceiling to the floor, all at once in a matter of seconds. I jumped out of bed and rushed out to see what happened. As I rounded the corner, I was just imagining all the shelves, containers, and boxes lying there with things spilled out and broken all over the place, rationalizing maybe a cat jumped up and knocked it all down or something. But as I entered the room, all I could do was stand there, bewildered. There was nothing to see. Everything was in its place where it belonged. What the hell? I thought. I must be going crazy. This isn't funny. Just then, overwhelmingly, I felt a disturbing vibe around me. A bad presence, if you will. Similar to that feeling many kids get when they stand at the top of their basement stairs, dreading going down there, in fear of something lurking in the dark. I hurried back into the bedroom like a scared child. What the hell was that? I said aloud this time. It wasn't just me who had heard this sound. My wife also heard it. As I hurried back into the bedroom shouting, "What the hell?" my wife asked, "What fell?" I replied, "Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I don't understand it." She said, "There's no way that's possible. The crash was so loud, it was horrifying. How could it be nothing?" Puzzled and creeped out, we joked that maybe it was a ghost, as we're believers in and open to the existence of the spiritual realm. But nonetheless, still scared, we both decided to blow it off as if it never happened and just go to sleep. And being as strong-minded as we possibly could, we did just that. Exploding head syndrome. That's what I concluded it was after doing some research. As strange as that sounds, exploding head syndrome is actually a rare and relatively undocumented sleep phenomenon. While sleeping or dozing, a person with the condition hears a terrifically loud sound in their head, such as a bomb exploding, a clash of cymbals, or a gun going off. In this case, a terrifying crashing sound. But then, the more I thought about it, it just didn't make any sense. How could we both have exploding head syndrome? A rare phenomenon for even just one person to experience on the same night, at the same time, and hearing the same sound. We didn't talk about it much after going to sleep that night. That is, until the second occurrence a few weeks later. It's about 3 a.m. We're sound asleep in our bed. We both woke up in a panic, hearts pounding in fear and adrenaline pumping. It was the same terrifying crash sound we had heard before. I rushed out to look in the cat's room, but it was pitch black. I couldn't see a thing, because as luck would have it, the power had also gone out. I went back and grabbed the flashlight I kept by my bed. As I looked in the closet, to my surprise, there was nothing. Once again, nothing out of place. I calmly stepped over to the bedroom door. My wife was sitting up in bed waiting and hoping to hear a valid explanation this time. Undoubtedly expecting there to be a huge mess. And all I could say was, there's definitely something living in this house. We're not alone. We just kind of blankly looked at each other in the pitch black darkness for a few moments, speechless. And in a mundane manner, I climbed back into bed. We again decided to just go to sleep and ignore it, agreeing if something's living among us, so be it. The power was back on the next day, with no answer as to why it was out in the first place. I highly doubt it was a coincidence. Over the next few days, we spoke of it lightly, numbing ourselves to its terrifying effect, attributing it to some spirit living with us, thinking it's cool, while at the same time fearing the darkest possibilities in the back of our minds. Then, just a few days later, unexpectedly, early into the evening, we were downstairs, sitting on the couch watching TV just after eating dinner. A loud, terrifying crash comes from the cat's room upstairs. The same exact sound. Except we weren't sleeping like the last time, and we weren't dozing off like the first time. We were wide awake. In that moment, I believed it had really happened this time. The whole closet collapsed on itself. Everything's broken. Maybe the times before were premonitions of something to come. It had to be real this time. It's still light outside. Ghosts don't come around in the day, I rationalized. It had to be real. As I walked up the creaky old wood stairs, I felt suspense of the mess I'm going to have to clean up. Yet relief that at least it didn't happen in the middle of the night again, so I wasn't as creeped out. I didn't even finish going up the stairs, because as the cat's room came into view above the top step, chills went down my spine. I saw nothing. Again, there was nothing. I walked right back down the stairs and said to my wife, "Yep, it's definitely a ghost. There's nothing there." She agreed. We both relaxed and accepted our conclusion, wondering when it might happen again. But it never did. We moved out of the house about 6 months later. It's been about 2 years in our new home, and we haven't heard anything like that ever since. Maybe it was the rarest case of dual exploding head syndrome that's ever taken place. Or maybe it was a ghost trying to scare us, or warn us about something. And when we didn't let it get to us, it tried harder and harder, even shutting off the power and acting up into the daylight hours until it gave up. Neither sounds plausible to the average ear. But if I was a betting man, experiencing it firsthand, I'd bet on the latter. And I can only wonder how the ghost in the closet is behaving now. If anyone has ever experienced something like this before, whether it's exploding head syndrome or a ghost, we would love to hear about it. Please comment or email us at scarysidetales@gmail.com. And don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed the story.